Hi, these are your March 2018 horoscope with me, Lada from Astrolada.com. And before we dive into each sign, and March is much more peaceful than February, there are no more eclipses, thankfully, and we have good news as well. But I just want to remind you, check out our new webinars. The first one is with Roman Kalev on ancient Babylonian astrology, and we're looking 7-hour webinar where he's looking at the ancient theory of Hermes, recently translated. This will be information no one else has, and it's about finding your spirit animal and what it means for you. There are 49 spirit animals. Check out this webinar. Also, the other webinar is with Marina. It's about the aspects in astrology. There are 32 important aspects. Some of them are karmic, some of them are free will, some of them will make your life much easy, or others can indicate that your life has a lot of obstacles you have to overcome. So you can take that webinar as well. Check it out here with the link on the information or the description below. And the third webinar is with Nikola Stojanovic, the astrologers of countries and nations. What is the best place for you to live? Where is the best place for you to have your office? Which part of town? Which part of the world are you going to have most success in? Which part of the world you have to be careful because you might have an accident there or failure, or where you can find love around the world. So amazing, fantastic webinars which are with very rare information. Check them all out. Leo, March 2018. So this is for everyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Leo. And people ask me which is the most important to check. They get confused. Well, the ascendant sign is the physical body and what happens to us, to the physical body, and it's more tangible. It's kind of a bit more karmic. It's like a bit set in stone. So the more the events that that are most materially visible usually are seen from the ascendant sign. Women should check always the moon sign because women are lunar beings. The moon is the ruler of women, so the moon rules emotions, the inner world, the feelings, so they'll definitely feel the influence from their moon sign as well. And men are more solar beings, more rational. But even nowadays, women are, pursue goals, careers in the Western world or throughout the world, basically. And the sun is about our conscious goals, our career. So you can check the sun sign for that as well. But usually the ascendant sign is enough. Or for extra information, check the moon sign if you're a woman and the sun sign if you're a man. So thank you. Now let's see how Leo is affected in March. Well, we have in March all planets visible, and we know from ancient astrology that planets manifest when they're visible. But we're going to have 2 planets going retrograde. And retrograde planets, they are very powerful. Actually, they become 3 times more powerful than a direct moving planet, but they require 3 times more efforts. So from March, we're getting kind of a bit of a intensification of the need to apply ourselves more, to go deeper. Retrograde planets is about kind of introverting the knowledge that you've gained till now, or new experiences that you've gained, making them your own, digging deep within and feeling them and integrating them into your life and fixing things that don't work, basically. So without retrograde planets, we'll be very superficial. We'll never learn something in depth. We'll never learn lessons deeply. We'll never go deep and experience things from here. So we're gonna have, let's start first with Jupiter. At around the 9th of March, Jupiter is going retrograde, and it's going to be retrograde till July, so 4 months almost. And it's going to be retrograde in your 4th house, guys. So what does it mean? Let's see on the material level, how can it manifest? The 4th house is home, family, property. So maybe a property deal that you were trying to sign, or something that fell through before can come back now over the next 3-4 months from March onwards, so you can sign it. Or let's say that you are expecting to sell property or something, to buy or sell property, but Jupiter starts moving retrograde. You're looking for a property and to move somewhere. Well, you will have to slow down a bit, do some more research for the next 2-3 months, or maybe renovate or change something around the house that you're trying to sell, or maybe you change, or maybe you've bought property already, or you have property and you want to do some renovations, because retrograde planets is about redoing something, is about fixing something, making it better, you know. So, and if you already has started certain renovations, this retrograde period can prolong that period of renovations. If you're in real estate, you might be going into deep negotiations for 2-3 months where things a bit slow down, but you explore more, you gain new knowledge. You gain new knowledge that you integrate more into your career, if you're in any kind of fourth house careers. On a more emotional level, it can mean that matters between you and your family from the past can resurface to be healed, because Scorpio is a sign of deep emotional wounds, and Jupiter is this planet of finding clarity, seeing the bigger picture, and healing as well. So when it goes retrograde, you might start thinking about the past, memories from the past, or something forgotten from the past, buried in the family memory tradition, can come to the surface for you to be aware, and can give you answers to certain behaviors of yours, or to certain why you're sabotaging relationships, or why you're self-sabotaging yourself emotionally. So it will deepen your emotional intelligence the next 3-4 months, because this deep digging here in the fourth house, the lowest house in the horoscope, which is of course connected to the subconscious, to past roots, to family, to wounds that we've buried and we've forgotten about, to mother, to the early part of our life. So Jupiter wants us to review certain connections to the past and make sense of them. And you can do it through astrology, because it's in the sign of Scorpio, occult, through astrology, through psychology, through self-assessment. Scorpio is a sign that looks within, digs deep, and especially when Jupiter is moving retrograde, it allows you to gain powerful intuitive understanding about certain situations, about your emotional health. The fourth house is known as the house of emotional happiness. If we have a pained fourth house, we're gonna be emotionally pained. Even if we're in the happiest environment, we would perceive everything through our feelings as negative. And just like a person who's been hurt in the past, which is where we keep the feelings in the fourth house, if we don't release those hurts, or if we don't recognize them and get a high understanding about them, which is what Jupiter helps while it's in the fourth house once every 12 years, and especially when it's retrograde, it allows us to go back to the past and do this reevaluation, this releasing of the past. So some issues with family from the past can come to the surface. You might reconnect with family members. So some of you might go to family, spend some time in your country of origin if you don't live there. Explore your roots, for example. Try and reinvent the relationship with your mother or with your own family. There might be certain issues sometimes when a planet is retrograde, because it requires 3 times more efforts, because it wants to create more balanced situation by the time it turns direct. So if some issues comes connected to your family, connected to property on the material level, connected to relocation, you just remember that you have to be 3 times, to apply yourself 3 times as harder, to dig deeper for understanding 3 times more, maybe to be more. Jupiter is a planet of forgiveness, to be 3 times more forgiving than other times. And by the time it starts moving direct, you would end up with a much better results in regards to this fourth house. Maybe you'd have healed some emotional wounds from the past. You'd have better understanding about your family, about your emotional needs. The fourth house is what do you need? Have you been neglecting your emotional needs and running around and taking care of everyone else? Fourth house is parenting, nurturing others. And now, with Jupiter in your fourth house, you're being asked, and my moon is in Leo, so everything I'm talking about, I definitely am feeling it. And when Jupiter goes retrograde, it will intensify, because Jupiter will be 3 times closer to Earth then. But what are your emotional needs? How are you as a parent? How are you nurturing yourself and others? Any omissions will have to be corrected. That's what retrograde planets are, and you intuitively will come across, whether it's book or information or intuitive insights about what else can you do as a parent, what else can you do as for your emotional needs as well. And sometimes there can be more emotionally intense moments over the next 4 months where you are like questioning your emotional needs, questioning your deeper feelings, digging there deep. But that's kind of like a purification process, almost, to heal, to evaporate the dross of heavy emotions which are at the bottom. Okay, so yes, if you're trying to buy property or something like that, there might be a time that you slow down, that you do renovations, that you redo something, that you re-examine your plan and where you want to relocate or move, that you have to work a bit harder to make it happen, but the final results will be 3 times better. Again, don't forget. So deepening of your understanding of your own needs, of the needs of your family, of what parenthood is about, getting intuitive insights from within yourself about where to live or where to how to heal yourself emotionally, how to improve relationships with your family. You know, all those 4th house matters. Or it might be something just very material, like, oh, you started doing your you have to redo your garden, for example, you know, something like that. Okay, and for me, interestingly enough, when Jupiter goes retrograde, my mom comes to stay and to spend 6 months with me, and I'll be going back to my country of origin where I haven't been for 2 years. So revisiting place of birth, 4th house, reconnecting, healing some pain, establishing deeper connection, emotional connection, because Jupiter is a planet that wants to bind us, and establishing higher and even forgiving something with the past with mom, and also parents and family members can be of great help for you during that time. But because Jupiter is going retrograde, it can require somehow of it's helping influence intensifies, but it requires also how do I say, more applying yourself as well. But you can receive that because Jupiter is a helping planet. Jupiter is a planet of support, that supports us, that gives us fertility, and that heals anything. So relationship with parents, relationships with family intensifies, deeper, incorporating family values deeper into yourself, all those kind of stuff. And enriching, Jupiter wants to enrich your family life, your personal needs, your emotional intelligence, your home, your property. And this is the hard work now, the next 4 months, that you have to do to bear the fruits fully, see them when Jupiter starts moving direct of all those 4th house things. And then at the same time, you're going to have Mercury retrograde from the 23rd of March till the middle of April in your 9th house, and Venus is also there, by the way. And that's a supportive house for Leo. It's not affecting Leos in a negative way, to be honest. It's in Aries there. So it's, maybe towards April, Mercury will make square with Saturn in your 6th house, Leos, in the house of health or work responsibilities. So something in regards to in regards to 9th house is your plans for the future, wanting to move forward, but something you might have to, some omissions in regards to your work, or problems in regards to daily routines that have been kind of not paid enough attention to, might make you have to change your plans for the future. But generally, when Mercury goes retrograde in the 9th house, it means revision of your goals, more like your plans, your vision for the future, because Sagittarius is the natural house of the natural energy of the 9th house, even though you have Aries there, and it means like your Sagittarius is like looking towards the future with an arrow and pointing there and having a meaning to wake up every morning. So you have to re-examine the reasons that give meaning to you, that make you wake up in the morning as well. That you might have to replan your goals. And Mercury is more of a technical planet, is more logical, is the left brain planet, the one that is with the rational brain that uses. So you kind of, in your brain, you have to create a new plan and go for action. There might have to be some of you who are trying to apply to university might have to work, 9th house rules higher education, might have to apply themselves 3 times harder with their skills and with their brain, which is Mercury and all the thinking. To learn extra, you might have to revise over the next 3-4 months, but apply themselves, not 3 months, sorry, around the month from the last 10 days of March and the first 15 days of April. You might have to intensify some high educational studies or revise some knowledge that you have from the past. Maybe you can get in touch with old tutors or mentors or teachers or father figures in your life, because Mercury retrograde means bringing something from the past. So maybe someone from your university, classmates, you know, that you get in touch with, that you haven't been in touch with, that they connect with you as well. Or you might have to revise for exams for higher education, or to revise your goals and to revise your qualifications. 9th house, when there's a retrograde planet, we might want to change the direction, because retrograde planet is about changing direction in regards to our qualifications, because 9th house is higher education and the knowledge we have which help us achieve reputation. Basically, 9th house is the storehouse of higher knowledge and wisdom that we have, which allows us after that to achieve worldly success in our career. So they might be like, they need to maybe to go back to school, or to re-examine, or to revise something of that knowledge, or to make a new plan in regards to what you have to study. For example, for me, it might be like new astrology techniques or something like that. So my plan and goal for the futures, which is very much 9th house and the 11th house are very much goal and future oriented. You might have to revise those plans because there are some surprises. Usually those surprises will come through the 6th house, because Saturn is making difficult. Saturn is in the 6th house of Mercury, and Mars is there. Towards the end of March and the beginning of April, Mercury will square them, difficult aspects. So because of some technical issues, because of some mundane technicalities, you'd have to change your plan somehow there. Also, anything to do with foreign travel, March and part of April, the end of March and part of April might have to be re-examined. A new plan might have to be constructed for that. Or maybe if you're applying for documents for foreign visa or something like that, there might be some omissions that you have to correct, that you've missed about, and that come to you, and they send you a letter and they say, we need those more documents or something like that, you know. Okay, so 9th house, it is an important house, but it's kind of supportive to the goals of Leo. And when you re-examine your goals and your beliefs as well, maybe your beliefs are, you know, maybe you perceive the world in a certain way, and a planet goes retrograde in your 9th house, and you re-examine your overall beliefs in life, and and by the time Mercury starts moving direct, you have kind of corrected them and made them more balanced. But also, Venus, the planet of love and the planet of facilitation and help, is in the 9th house. So despite the need to be extra careful with details about all those 9th house matters, planning for the future, pre-qualification, higher education, examining old knowledge, higher education, travel, working with foreigners, foreign places, you will have support from Venus. Venus makes it somehow easier. If you're traveling somewhere, even if Mercury throws you a few surprises when it's retrograde, if you're traveling somewhere far away, then Venus will make sure that things quickly get restored to balance. Venus is the planet of balance as well. And maybe a woman helps you, or charm helps you in such situation. People that are in teaching, in educational careers where they have to spread their knowledge, or counsel, or advise others from a higher perspective. Or maybe if you're a business counselor, you know, you still need to see the bigger picture and advise others. The ninth house is this bigger picture. Well, they might be re-examining some of their plans, they might be preparing, because retrograde planet is about preparation or re-examining something, digging deeper, slowing down and digging deeper, preparing for something in regards to either it's teaching or you know, consulting, the bigger picture of some sort, or slow yourself down to see the bigger picture from another perspective. So, you know, that's kind of the most important developments that are happening. Mars is gonna move into your 6th house, guys, so it's gonna energize you to work harder, to deal with problems. But Mars goes there and will join Saturn from the 18th onwards, and I'm going to speak about that because you have 2 malefics in the 6th house for the last 10 days of March and the whole April. So I'm going to talk about that in the April videos, because Saturn and Mars together, they always make things much more intense in whatever house they are, so you have to take care a bit more of your health. But there, it's a fantastic place for the 2 malefics in the 6th house, because it helps us deal with problems and it helps us tackle those problems fearlessly. Anyway, thank you so much, Leos, and I will see you next month. And do check the educational courses. Look, you have in the 9th house amazing planets in March. So it's all about higher education, studying, learning, re-examining, brushing up your knowledge, introducing knowledge that you enjoy even more, and that it will improve your skills, Mercury, even more. So if you want to learn higher knowledge, astrology, check out our classes and courses on astrolada.com with amazing tutors around throughout the world. Thank you.